Okay, I want you to picture a scenario for a second. A genie, say, snaps his fingers and grants you the one wish. You know the one. The wish humanity's been obsessed with forever.
Eternal youth.
Eternal youth, exactly. You will never age, you'll never get sick, you don't even technically need to eat or drink to stay alive. You are, for all intents and purposes, permanent.
And the first instinct is always, yes, please.
Where do I sign?
Right. It's the default human response. We equate survival with success. If I'm still breathing, I'm winning. But we almost never read the fine print on what forever really means.
Exactly. And that is the terrifying fine print we are dealing with today. We're unpacking a chapter called The Tide of Time from the saga Chasing Death.
And it follows a character named Zayn, a prince of Egypt.
And this is not a superhero story. It's not about a guy who lives forever and fights crime. This is a psychological horror story about a man who gets the ultimate gift and realizes almost immediately that it's actually a sentence.
It's solitary confinement, basically. And it creates this amazing paradox because we think of immortality as an expansion of life, you know?
More time, more experiences.
Or everything. But this text argues the complete opposite. It argues that immortality is a contraction. It strips everything away until you are the only thing left. It is displacement in its most absolute form.
And the atmosphere the author builds is just... It's suffocating. It starts out like a high-stakes political thriller, then it shifts into this eerie supernatural mystery, and then it lands as this crushing tragedy.
So let's set the scene.
Okay, so Zayn is a fugitive. He is running for his life.
And the context is so crucial here. He isn't just a random person. He's royalty. But his world has just completely collapsed.
Right. His uncle, Pharaoh Zenon, and his mother, Queen Aria, have been assassinated. A coup.
So he's carrying this incredibly fresh trauma, this fresh grief, and that's when he encounters this holy voice.
And the way the text describes his voice is it's not some angel on a cloud. It says the voice vibrated through the very marrow of his bones.
So visceral. Invasive.
It really is.
And
it delivers this prophecy that, on the surface, sounds like a blessing, but it just feels like a curse.
The wording is so specific. The voice tells him he is anchored in unchanging vitality. So biologically, he's frozen.
His skin will stay smooth. His hair will never frost. He is locked in an eternal spring.
But then comes the caveat.
The caveat that just gave me chills. The voice tells him he is destined to watch kings mount their thrones in pride and then watch them be carried away to their tombs.
He's a living ghost.
A living ghost. It's like the universe is telling him, you can look, but you can't touch.
Precisely. It turns him into the ultimate spectator. And just think about the psychology of that for a moment.
I mean, would you even bother?
Would you bother making friends, falling in love, if you know for a fact that every single person you meet is going to wither and die while you stay exactly the same?
It's a wall of glass between you and everyone else.
And it's put up before he even takes his first step.
And that first step is to escape. He's following this spectral command to find a ship on the Nile. And this is where the story shifts from, political drama into something just wrong.
The vibe is immediately off.
Totally. He finds this ship, and the author uses this simile that I just can't get out of my head. The sails are fluttering like the wings of a trapped bird.
And that image just does so much heavy lifting. A trapped bird, it suggests panic, confinement, a struggle against something you can't see.
It's foreshadowing his entire future. He's about to become that bird in the cage of time.
And then you have the crew.
Oh, the crew is so unnerving. I mean, Zayn is a prince. He's used to being obeyed, to being spoken to.
Of course.
He tries to talk to the sailors, and they just give him these faint, unsettling smiles. The captain won't even look at him.
Staring dead ahead at the horizon, it's dead silent.
And it completely strips Zayn of his authority. In his world, his voice commands attention. On this ship, his voice is meaningless.
The silence is the point. He's leaving the world of men and entering some kind of liminal space.
But he doesn't know that yet. He goes to sleep thinking he'll sort it out in the morning. He still thinks the old rules apply.
And then he wakes up, the old rules are gone.
Gone. The text notes he feels unnaturally alive. That's the curse taking effect. He's not hungry, he feels charged. But he goes up on deck.
And the ship is empty.
Just empty.
This is the moment the genre just flips on a dime. The crew is gone. The captain is gone. He runs through the quarters. Everything is neat. Charts are out, but there's not a soul there.
And then he goes below deck to the galley. And this scene is it's pure cinematic horror.
He sees the great oars moving.
Yes. dipping into the water, pulling, lifting, dipping again. This perfect hypnotic rhythm.
The benches are empty.
There is no one rowing.
It's just this terrifying realization of his own helplessness. The ship is being propelled by, what, invisible hands, a phantom wind.
He's trapped. He's on a vessel that is literally carrying him out of his own reality. And he just shouts into the void. There's no one to negotiate with.
And just to punctuate the point, to make sure we get that he's crossed a threshold, a monster shows up.
A giant bird. And not just a big eagle. The text says the wingspan is as broad as a house.
It's a clear callback to the rock from mythology. It's the story signaling to us and to him that we are off the map now. We are in the territory of fable. The bird shrieks, it vanishes. It's a marker. It divides his past from his future.
So he endures this for 3 days. 3 days of total isolation, just watching these invisible ghosts row him to Away. And then the water changes.
It goes from deep indigo to a muddy brown.
He sees land, coconut palms, a jungle. The ship just stops.
And this part is so crucial. Zayn thinks he's traveled through space.
Right.
He thinks he's just in a faraway land, maybe somewhere down the coast of Africa. He has absolutely no reason, none at all, to suspect he's traveled through time.
He's still working with linear logic. So he packs a bag, he takes some bread, and this is so important, he takes a pouch of gold coins.
Stamped with the profile of his uncle, Pharaoh Zenon.
That's his currency. That is his reality. He rows ashore expecting, I don't know, a hostile tribe, a strange city.
And he finds a marketplace. The writing here becomes very sensory and grounded. It's dusty, it's loud, you can smell the spices, it feels incredibly real.
Which makes the contrast so much sharper. Zayn is walking through this gritty, real market, but he's wearing this fine blue Egyptian tunic.
He looks like he stepped out of a history book.
But to him, he just got dressed 3 days ago. People are staring at him. He sticks out like a sore thumb.
But he still has his confidence. He's a prince. He sees a weapon stall and spots this beautiful bow made of wood with a golden sheen.
And he wants it. He's a warrior, so he pulls out those gold coins.
And this is the moment. This is when the traps snap shut.
The shopkeeper just looks at the money, and he doesn't see currency. He sees a museum exhibit. He calls over his neighbors. They start whispering, and then an old man steps forward.
And the interaction with this old man is where the whole tragedy is laid bare. The text says the man speaks an archaic form of Coptic. They can barely understand each other.
It's like trying to have a conversation with someone speaking Chaucer's English. The language itself has drifted.
And the old man asks the question that just shatters everything. He looks at the coin and asks, "From which pyramid did you unearth these, traveler?"
Unearth. That one word.
It implies excavation. It implies the distant past. Zayn is offended. He says, "I didn't unearth them. I brought them from home in Egypt 2 days ago."
And the old man just looks at him with pity, pure pity. And he tells Zayn that those coins haven't been in circulation since the reign of Pharaoh Zenon, 1,000 years ago.
Can you just imagine the weight of that? The cognitive dissonance. You think your uncle was murdered on Tuesday. You think your mother's body is still warm. And a stranger tells you their bones turned to dust 10 centuries ago.
Zayn can't process it. The text says he physically staggers. A wave of dizziness hits him. He's clinging to his geography. He says, "I am from Thebes."
And the old man delivers the second blow.
Thebes is gone. Destroyed hundreds of years ago. It's just ruins now. The capital is Memphis.
It is total erasure. It's not just that his family is gone. It's his city, his streets, the buildings he grew up in. They don't even exist anymore.
Desperate for proof. He says his ship is just offshore. They send runners. The sea is empty.
The ghost ship did its job. It ferried him across a millennium and then it vanished, leaving him stranded. This is the tide of time. It just washed him up on a shore where he has no context.
He asks who rules now, just hoping for a familiar name, a dynasty he might recognize.
And the answer just twists the knife. The old man explains the New World Order. Egypt is a shadow of its former self. Crumbling, weak, harassed by Syrians, the powerful empire Zayn thought he was the prince of. It's a failing state in the history books.
So the voice was literal. He crossed a millennium in 3 days. But the scene doesn't just end there. There's a sudden injection of authority. A soldier on horseback arrives.
The governor of the province. And the historical context here is vital. This governor serves a King Hannibal.
That name Hannibal anchors us. We are in the era of Carthage, of Rome, a completely different geopolitical game board.
And the governor starts interrogating Zayn. Now, logically, if a guy shows up claiming to be a 1,000-year-old prince, you'd think, asylum.
Right, you throw him in a cell.
But the governor hesitates. He looks at the physical evidence, and this is what I love about this section. It grounds the fantasy in logic.
He examines the coin.
Exactly. If Zayn had dug it up, it would be tarnished, worn. But the text says the coin is freshly minted. It shines.
Because for Zayn, it came out of the treasury 3 days ago.
Right. Then the governor looks at Zayn himself. No fever, clear eyes, no signs of madness. And the tunic he's wearing, the fabric, the weaving technique, it's lost to time. It doesn't exist anymore. The governor is staring at an impossibility.
And Zayn's answer is just so simple and tragic. He says, I have crossed the centuries in the blink of an eye.
The governor can't explain it, but he can't deny what he sees. So instead of arresting him, he offers sanctuary. He takes Zayn to his villa.
And the villa is this stark contrast. It's lush. Persian carpets, Arabian silks. It represents the wealth of this new world.
And he gives Zayn watermelon and dates, very grounding, earthy foods, and just asks for the truth.
So Zayn tells him everything. The assassination, the voice, the ghost ship, the bird. He just pours it all out.
And the governor listens. He doesn't laugh. But then he gives Zayn the final piece of the puzzle. He reveals they are in a province of Ethiopia and that King Hannibal is preparing to march on Egypt.
Which is just devastatingly ironic. He's found refuge in the home of a man who serves the conqueror of his own homeland.
A homeland that doesn't remember him. A homeland that is about to be invaded and there's nothing he can do. He's a relic.
And that leads to the final, quiet moment of the chapter. Zayn is left alone in the guest room. He's just lying on the bed, staring at the ceiling.
And he looks at his things, his sword, his coins, his clothes, and he has this realization. It's a realization that changes the entire trajectory of his existence.
The survival instinct kicks in.
It does. He realizes that if he keeps telling people the truth, who he really is, he's going to be a freak show. Or a political prisoner. Or worse.
The text says, to survive in this alien world, he would have to lock his secret away. He realizes he's a stranger. He decides he has to walk among these people, learn their dialect, wear their clothes, and never, ever reveal that he's a ghost from the past.
It's this moment of profound resignation. We always think of immortality as a way to accumulate wisdom, right?
Yeah, that's the trope.
But here, Zayn realizes his wisdom, his memories, his history. It's not an asset, it's a liability. It's useless because nobody else shares it. He has to hide it to survive.
He becomes a spy in his own life. The tragedy isn't just that he lost his family, it's that he lost his relevance. He's like a piece of technology from a lost civilization.
That's a great way to put it. The hardware works perfectly, but the software is completely incompatible with the modern world.
Incompatible, that's the perfect word. The voice said he would be a wanderer in every land. At the start, it sounds kind of poetic, Oh, I'll travel the world.
But in practice, it means he can never truly connect with anyone. Because everyone else is just temporary, they're passing through, and he's stuck. He's the rock in the stream. Water flows past, it changes the landscape, and he just sits there, unchanging.
So when we look at this chapter, it's really an origin story. But it's not the origin of a hero, it's the origin of a trauma that's going to last forever. Zayn survived the assassins, he survived the ghost ship. But in a way, he died the moment he stepped off that boat.
He did. He paid for his eternal life with his biography. The person known as Zayn, Prince of Egypt, is dead. That man died 1,000 years ago with his city. The being that remains is something else entirely. A witness. A vault of dead memories.
It really makes you reevaluate that whole genie's wish thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We fixate on the biological fear of death, the aging, the ending, but we forget that we are social creatures. We're anchored in time by the people around us.
And if you pull up the anchor but keep the ship floating,
you just drift.
And that drift is what this story captures so beautifully. It suggests that life is valuable not just because it continues, but because of the context it exists in. Without context, existence is just duration.
Existence is just duration. That's a haunting thought.
It is.
Yeah.
But that is the power of this narrative. It takes the fantasy of forever and it shows you the price of the ticket.
So here's the thought I want to leave you with. We started by imagining that ultimate gift of eternal youth. But after walking a mile or, sailing a millennium in Zayn sandals, ask yourself this. If the price of living forever was waking up tomorrow to find that everyone you know, your family, your culture, your language, even your hometown, had been buried for 10 centuries, would you still take the deal?
Or would you realize that maybe mortality is the thing that gives life meaning? It's a calculation I think most of us would be terrified to make.
Sometimes the scariest journeys aren't across the map, but across the calendar. Thanks for taking this trip through time with us. We'll be back with another dive soon.